going on, everybody? This is Art from Geek Thoughts Podcast, and I'm coming at you with a. I really don't even understand why we got to go through this every time when it comes to TMNT. I really don't. And I'm gonna enlarge this so everybody can see it. Okay, so there's this big controversy going on with April O'Neil about was she originally black in the Mirage comics? Because a lot of people are pointing towards this. Let me see if I can find it. This picture right here saying that she was either mixed race or black, right? Now I know Eric July did a video on this, but I figure I gotta do a video on it too because this is one of the things that I hate about race swapping in pop culture now, because you got all these people who did not grow up with this shit, don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and they're idiots. Like, seriously. I mean, April was white. She was April O'Neil. April O'Neil was white. She was not black. She was never black. She was a white woman. Okay? For all those who were born in the 90s, who don't know any better, she was a white woman when she came to the Turtles in her first appearance. This right here, what you see on her head, I'm going to explain something to you about the 80s. This was called a perm. Not just black men had them, black women, and also white women, and sometimes white men. It was a style. It was a hairstyle. Okay, for all you guys that's out there saying, "Oh, this proves that she's black." No, it's not. It was a perm. It says it even in turtle terminology where they gotta explain all this shit and put out all these pictures about this. The only race swapping that you can actually say that they did, which you guys should have been mad about back in the day, was Baxter Stockman. Baxter Stockman was black in the original comic. They turned him white in the cartoon. The 90s, in the late 80s, 90s cartoon. They turned him back to black in the 2000 cartoon. Most of the cartoons that you guys grew up with, he was originally black, and that was correct. See, this is the actual artwork from that comic back in the 80s. I don't know. I mean, she looks pretty white to me. Right here. You see, this is there she is in TMNT Volume 1, Number 3. This stuff is easy to look up if you actually had half a brain cell. Even right here, she don't look African American right there. She looks white. Here goes another picture that was even colored, and here goes the other screenshot of where she got her perm. She said, "Do you like my new do?" Wow, looks great. So the reason why I bring this up is because there's a lot of people that will try to defend race swapping amongst characters and wants this to happen so freaking bad. Now, I watched the trailer for this new TMNT. April looks horrible. It's not the simple fact that she's just black. And I'm not saying because she's black and she looks horrible. What I'm saying is that they made her into a fat black woman. Fat black woman. Now, I did see screenshots of some black women that were offended by this. And as they should, because anytime else when they do characters, they are in shape, they're doing their thing. But when it comes to black women, it seems like the left thinks black women are fat, fat and unattractive. That's the definition of a black woman. Now, as an African American man, I'm just looking at this like, you guys are barking up the wrong tree. And the simple fact that a lot of people are trying to point to this picture and saying that she's black, that doesn't know anything about the 80s. And you can tell that these are younger people. I mean, real young, that have no concept at all. It even says here, look at no other context than look, April's a black woman, then yes, I can understand coming with the impression that April was black. Because in addition to the perm, she also frequently sported a tan as seen in Tales in TMNT, Volume 1, Number 7. But having access to a curling iron and a tanning bed does not make you a black person. Then again, there was one time in the Mirage comics where April was black. But this was a guest era of the series, a span of comic where the freelance indie creators were invited to contribute issues of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that did not rely on continuity. Which is probably referring to this right here, because she is black in this one. But this is not part of the continuity, and she did not start off as black. This was just people just coming up with their own characters, rebooting the stories. In TMNT number 32 by Mark Bode was not one of those issues that tried to follow canon. Instead, it was a surreal comic that deviated from the continuity in most aspects. So, in continuity, she was not black. In Elseworlds, yeah, okay, that's fine. You know what? That is fine if that was the issue. It's the Elseworlds. Cool, that's cool. But to say that she was originally black is wrong. And this is and like I said, a lot of people are trying to make this something political, something like you're hurting black people are doing this. Listen, you're hurting black people, but you're not doing it in the way that you think. Listen, I'm all for diversity. I think diversity is good in some aspects, but when it's forced like this, I think you do a disservice. Now, have there been stupid ass black comic book characters with stupid ass fucking powers? Yes, they have. Have there been good black characters with good powers? Yes, they have. But I'll just say this. When you have to take away something and exchange it for something else just to make your agenda viable, it's not authentic, because when it comes back and when they do this again in about 20 to 30 years, guess what? She's gonna be white again. And so what was all that effort? I don't need to see a black Professor X. I don't. I really don't. You know what I want to see? I want to see another cool ass black character being created originally. So that way it will be its own character. You don't have to take away from the lore just to put out an agenda. Just make a cool black character. That's all we want. That's all I want. I don't want a black version of Professor Xavier. Make me a cool ass black character. Just do that. You don't have to do this. And this was deliberate. You don't have to. You don't have to turn April black just so you can have a black person in there. You know what you could do? You could put a black person, a black character that's hanging with the turtles, that knows who they are. Maybe a black kid, black woman, black whatever. But you don't have to change the lore and then try to force it down people's throat who know better. And a lot of these people don't know better. They just take random pictures off the internet and say, see, there it is, but without any context to it whatsoever. They don't look, they don't read, they don't know nothing. They don't. They don't know nothing about the hairstyles back then or anything like that. Excuse me. But this is the stupidness of, I hate to say it, these leftist writers that are in Hollywood right now. They're destroying this shit because they want to push an agenda down people's throats. It is what it is. These companies hire these people, and they're getting into these companies, and those are the people that's making these decisions. That is pretty much destroying geekdom at this point. Because every time you see their whiteboard about what they need to do, the first thing they need to say is, we need diversity. But let me ask you this: why is every redhead being replaced by a black woman? Little Mermaid is another example that's supposed to be coming out. Now everybody don't like the trailer, but I've been saying this for a minute. It was going to fail. Why? Because they have destroyed that character. Not because it's black, because they have destroyed their marketing campaign that they've had for that character for so many years. If they were going to make her black, then guess what? They should have changed everything about that character, even from the marketing. And what I mean by marketing is that in Disney, if you don't have a black mermaid, he's talking about she's Ariel, I'm sorry, in that theme park, and they don't change the requirements that you have to be this color, this height, you have to wear a red wig, you don't have red hair, this, that, and the third. All this was just virtue signaling in my eyes. That's all this is. It's virtue signaling for the people who don't really care about this shit, just as long as it's there. They're not the ones that's gonna pay for this. And that's another thing too. The fans are not gonna pay for this. You got turtle fans that's in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. Guess what? And they will still collect this stuff. The people that you're making this for, they're not gonna watch it. Cause I'm not gonna watch this. I got mostly all the turtle shit. I got most of all the turtle movies that came out. Except for the second movie, which I didn't really like too much. The second real life movie. But you think I want to buy this? Hell no. Give me Batman and the TMNT. How about that? Give me that. I would rather watch that again than this crap that's got it going on. Now keep in mind, it does look claymation. It does look pretty good. It looks like a claymation, but it's done in 3D. But the controversy that this has been set when it comes to fans has been so divisive that I doubt that they are actually gonna make their money back. I seriously doubt it. I don't think people are actually gonna be looking at this saying that, yo, I'm really digging this. And it's sad because it could have been good, but because of the agenda that they have set forth, it's gonna hurt them in the long run, and it's gonna hurt the franchise. So, as far as I'm concerned, you guys just need to stop, understand the stuff that you're reading, understand that there is a lore with it. Stop trying to mess with the lore. Excuse me, I don't know what's wrong with my throat now. Because even just read. That's all I gotta say. Just read. Just start understanding that and just understand the lore. Even this, to summarize, April was conceived by Peter Laird as an Asian woman in the early concept stages, but ultimately developed as a white woman in her first appearance. She was named by Kevin Eastman after his then girlfriend and future ex-wife, who was of mixed heritage. But if they had any ideas of April being black and mixed, he never implemented them on the page beyond a perm, which she only had for a couple of years. April has been black in occasional comics and cartoons over the years. Be Asian, Hispanic, or Indian. She was originally white in the Mirage comics. So they developed her as an Asian woman, not black. Then they turned her into a white woman. They named her after his then girlfriend. The name. She had a perm, but she was never black. Whatever. I'm really getting tired of talking to stupid, because arguing with these people online is just like draining, because a lot of people are just going to be in their bubble. Is what it is. This is Arno.